and export the directory. So where? So from orders file, this is the HDFS file. Okay, from HDFS file, it will be created as the orders on the bar, create the table. Okay. There are a variety of options like can I use the different delimiter instead of comma? Yes, you can do that if you want. And also, I do not have the new line character. I have the another the special character to differentiate. You can change any time with the option. It's a very simple but it's command line interface. Okay. Also, you can import through the Hive. Okay. Hive is not the repository itself. It still uses HDFS. It's the interface of the HDFS, SQL style interface. So you can actually import through the Hive. The correct the describing of the importing data into Hive means through the Hive. Okay, using Hive import the data to HDFS. Okay, you can see the Hive looks like the SQL prompt show table, and you can see that such a it's almost the same as the source database, MySQL database, and Hive, but actually it's imported to the HDFS. Okay. Because of that, some of the students and the people confused. This looks like the real relational database. No, still use the HDFS. Then Flume. Flume, if the data source is not the relational database or the schema-based database, which means like the log data or the other data sources, at the time you cannot use the scope. Instead, we try to use the Flume. So Flume is kind of agent. So we direct agent means it's a daemon process, service process, and keep checking whether because sometimes log can be appended, generating log data like that. But sometimes it's stop. So you cannot keep sending the data. So keep watching whether there's an event. There's something new log data. Then if yes, and send it. Who is in charge of that? That is the agent base. So you can see the agent process per server. Then this agent to keep watching whether there's a new event, which means new the log data. Okay. If yes, then send the data to not directly. If you send such a data directly from the 100 data source, you have the 100 agent to the HDFS. HDFS cannot take care. Okay. So in the middle we have the collector. Collector is the kind of in between the middleware. So collecting all the data, such an agent new log data, then write the data to the HDFS. This is a basic architecture. But depending on your IT environment, it can be various the design. So you can change the design, the Google Sheet, such a like this agent is if they are equally divided, then the 2, and then collector, you have the 3 collector. Depending on how many log data you have, so collector A can have the 3 of them, and collector B is for the D, and the 2 of the agent for the C, something like that. Okay. So basically the 3 tier, agent tier, collector tier, and HDFS storage tier. So these are the concept of the Flume. And the event is the event when the new log data is created. So agent is watching that. And the flow is the, as you can see that this is the data flow. Okay, you will create such a data flow in case of the event. Okay. Then each one you will see source and sink. Like the agent and processor. Processor is optional in case you need pre-processing. We don't have to send all the log data. We need some timestamp and the username, for example. We don't have to. It's a network overhead if you send all of them. So in case you are going to filter out some of the data, at that time you can create a processor. So processor is the agent. So after the agent, then it's additional. It's optional. Okay? But anyway, agent, processor, and even collector, they are based on the source and sink. source and sink. Source means it's receiving the data, and sink means send the data. Okay, and this is the code connection is a sink to source. Sink to source is called a channel. So through the channel we can create the data flow. Okay, you can create the data flow. So you need to design. So using how many agents are needed and how many collector and whether we need a processor, then you can design the you can, for example, like this kind of design of the Flume. Reliability, if one of them is failed, still you can run multiple agents, then you can also bypass. If one of the collector is busy, bypass this collector using other collector, you can design whatever you want. Okay? And scalability, in case one of the agents are very busy, so many the incoming data or the event, at that time you can increase the number of agents and allocate more collector dynamically. You don't have to stop the service, add it. In case of the one of them is failed, then the other can work, or you can start a new one. So that is the benefit of using the Flume. It can be managed using the data flow, the interface. Okay, I never used that. There exists. Okay, so probably in the enterprise level, our system they will use such a flow or data flow management. Also, this Flume supported near real time. Ideally, real time, but there is no really real time processing system. So almost real time. That is the near real time. Okay. Also, it uses the covers the HDFS, so which means it's encrypted. As you can see, from agent, it can be connected to several collectors. In case busy or the problem, you can use the other collector. Cloudera also definitely support, especially the Cloudera is developed the school. So Cloudera is not purely the commercial company. They try to support the customer. Okay, they found the Cloudera company. So mostly we discussed before. So this is the typical. So before we are using the header, this is a typical example of the system from the front end. So we can get the data and the data warehousing and the OLAP or the Oracle Sub Server. Then it supports the business intelligence. So we try to use the header to process huge amount of data or real time, almost real time streaming data. One of the benefits of using the MapReduce programming, it can handle the streaming data source. So that is a header. So we already see. Mostly, in general, the RDB-based data warehousing system, they can support up to several petabytes. Petabyte size the database. If it is bigger than petabyte size, there's overhead or the overall performance will be degraded. If you have less than petabyte size, and also you have enough budget for your IT environment, then I think that you can still use the relational database management system or the related application system. However, if your database size is more than the 10 petabyte size and expect to be increased yearly at the petabytes, then at the time Hadoop will be helpful. But Hadoop is not always the best solution, as we have seen before. The Hadoop is only read-only. Once write, it cannot be updated. So if that is required a modification a lot, it's not good. The data warehousing system, actually read the data, write the data, and read it, write it, read it, write it. It's a lot of time action. But the Hadoop is not. Okay, and also it doesn't support online time action. It's mostly batch job, the processing. So you need to design such a thing. Still, the file server can be EMC. So this week we got the news. The EMC is purchased by the Dell. Purchased the EMC, which is one of the biggest deals in IT history. So, I'm going to. So we already discussed. And also, from the RDBMS, not always transfer such a log data or big data. Sometimes we need to access the data from the relational database as a lookup table, okay, or all the information. So from time to time, ad hoc based, not always. So we can use this one for the ETL purpose, but also when you need to access the legacy data or the lookup table, and at the time you can simply use the scoop, then import the data and process it. So that will be possible. So it can be used for the DDoS. Okay. Can support also where clause. It's not fully implement the SQL standard, but it's mostly follow the SQL 2 standard. So you can use the where condition. Okay. And also it is based on the JDBC. So these are the syntax. There are 3 scoop command, and with the 3 main tools. One is import all table or list the table. List the table is describe. Okay, and then option is connect username and password. These are the frequently used the option. Okay, so for example, scoop import username is Fred and password database password. Be careful in the production system. Password will be depending on the operating system, it can be viewed to others if you type the PS command. But nowadays many of the system hide the password for this one, or you can do the interactively. So without the password, then they will ask for the password. So this is the connected string and table name. Or if you want, you can give the where condition. Export is also export to the database source. You can practice with the MySQL database in the exercise. Okay. Flume. The goal of the Flume is reliability, scalability, manageability, and extensibility. We already discussed about it, and this is developed by the Cloudera. Okay, as you can see from the agent, different types of source, and there is a connector. Okay, so this is a connector agent and collect, and there are 3 layers. So each the agent and the connector has a source and sink. Source is the data source, then connect to the sink, and from sink to source. Then that create the channel. There are different types of channel, memory channel in one system. If you have the agent and connector in the same system, you can use actually the memory channel, okay, instead of writing the data to the file, okay. So you can also use the file channel. Memory channel will be more faster. However, you may lose some of the data in case the system is down. You already seen the characteristic of the Flume. So web server also create a lot of the log information. So if you want to analyze the customer, the visiting pattern of the web page, at the time, actually, from the log data of the generated by the web server, there are a lot of information actually you can collect, like the what browser she is using, and operating system information, and which the web page she visited. So you can get such information. Then you can use to analyze the pattern of the usage, pattern of the user. So at the time you can use such a plot. It's almost real time. Then you can suggest, you can give the next link on the top, which is mostly visited by the user. Something like that. Use DFS is using the why don't we? Idea is we can directly access the HDFS file, okay, from user side. Okay, it's kind of interface before, but it's not important here. Okay, so that is the scoop and plug. Any question? So, do not have any question? I think you already checked the message that I sent yesterday. So this is the result of the page 3. Okay? Page 3 is for the proposal. So this is my grading policy for the page 3. From the page 1 board, I give the 2-point maximum, which means the most voted the user get the 2 point and reduce point. The second is the 4 divided by what? 10 divided by 5 and 9 divided by 5, so 1.8. Okay, so next 1.8, 1.6, so up to the 10 length 10th and the 0.2, and 11 through the 20, the 0 point, something like that. So this is a 2 point. That is the reason not all the students got the point for the voting. Okay, originality is a 4 point, and the fitness to the big data is a 4 point. Presentation or proposal. I mean, I didn't consider the PPT file as a presentation. Only the proposal is a 4 point, and the query or the problem, the analysis and the model is the 4 point, because this is your main proposal, right? And total 20 point, and those who got the selected the proposal will get the 5 to 10 points. So one of the students asked me if one of the main problem of the proposal, many of the students who got the almost 0 mark or the less than the 5 point use the PowerPoint file. They add just a couple of more slides from the page 2. Okay, that is not a proposal. I think that you guys are not elementary school, not even the undergraduate student, it's graduate student. You already took the software engineering class, and you have written a lot of proposals so far. So, and you submitted a technical report. So definitely PPT file is not a proposal, it's a presentation purpose. Okay? So those who use just the PPT file, and by adding a couple of more slides, we get almost nothing for the presentation, and originality, low point, and query problem is almost a 0 mark. That is the main problem. The second problem, those who use the some of the students didn't put any proposal, only just copy and paste from the PPT to the Word file. Okay, then you need to propose something in the query. Okay, more specialized. Then how you are going to implement what. For example, I request you to use the Hadoop ecosystem. Even though we didn't learn, by spending a little bit time, we can use the Hive and the scoop combination to select the data, something like that. So that's the proposal. So if I can implement your project by using your proposal, then that is perfect. Otherwise, if I cannot understand what you are doing, so you got the lower mark for the proposal. The third problem is I quote a couple of cases. So there might be some very close friend or the kind of a group. Yes, it's okay. Then one student write the proposal, then another student just replace the name of title and data source, and the others are exactly same the statement, and even just replace the couple of figures. So that cannot be accepted. That's if I apply the very strict rule for the plagiarism, it's a copied submission also. So that was the reason some of the students, even though it's overall very nice, but I know you want to save the time. So in terms of contents, I use the different data source and it's a different title, but it looks like the same until I read the details of it. It's almost the same proposal. Even some dear student, it's 3 or 4 students are almost the same. Okay, by changing only the name of data. Okay, even the query is a customer something. Instead of customer, it's a something driver something. Okay? So that cannot be accepted definitely. Because of that, some of the students got the lower point and also lower bonus point. Any question? So these are the the decision. Total distance learning student can continue the own proposal, the individual project. But the regular student, I expect them, because due to the limitation of the distance learning, I cannot ask more. But here, that will be compensated, even though you are doing the more than that. So that is the reason I try to make the group. Otherwise, 20 group, I cannot advise, I cannot help. Okay? So I select the 10 group. Even the other 10 group, I really doubt whether they can be implemented successfully. So the top 8 based on the voting and the point. So it's a top 5. Then 2 of them are selected based on, it's not the best, it's not enough, but it's still weak, the proposal, but it's interesting. So if the group enhance it, so maybe successful, so top 8 plus 2 selected. So we have 20 students, then each group has 2 members. But distance learning students should work very, very hard. Otherwise, half of them are at almost at 0 mark for the PACE grade. Okay? But because we can the face-to-face meeting in the lecture, so overall the regular section are better, but the distance learning student should work hard. Finally, one of the distance learning students would like to meet me to discuss about the proposal. That's also one of the way to improve your project. The first one is a Flume trend prediction using social media network data. So early and the Dugina not here. Okay, if you do not know the contact, so let me email me, I will let you know.
I can get that from Canvas.
Okay, Canvas you can send a message, okay? But Canvas does not have the email address, okay? In case if you need it. So that is the Flume trend, okay? I already gave my comment for each proposal. I cannot remember all of this. But the main problem, so the others, okay, main problem is Flume trend itself is a well-known one. So you'd like to differentiate, okay? There's such a thing. I think from your page 2 it may be fine and the proposal, but try to. Analytics of the client data by Hadoop. There are two similar things. Both of them are selected. One is the client, another one is the client in Chicago. Okay, I don't think they work together. So it's individually. Their proposals are different, and both of them are interesting. So so well organized. So I select both of them. So one is by the Chupa and Adeni. Okay. So why don't you guys work together? Geo names actually the little bit weak. I expect more than that, but in page 3 it's not very it's one of the two. I think one of two. Anyway, so it's page 3 was not good enough, but it's interesting. So I selected this one. Manikan. Okay, and Kalu Bahavi, not here. So why don't you contact? Yeah. Then opinion analysis of another product review data set, Priya. Okay, and Chow. Okay, so why don't you? I think the Priya, she has experience working on the data mining, but it's a different perspective, right? In the data mining, focus on the how to analyze. So don't try to spend a lot of time to analyze and apply the data mining techniques so that you have learned, okay? But instead, more focus on to learn how to use the Hadoop system to process the big data. Even though you cannot upload the billions of the data, but you can pretend such a thing. That is the only, because as far as I remember, you are thinking about the analytics part, right? No?
No.
No? Okay. So this is another kind analysis of the Chicago and Wake family.
Yes.
And the one Swan. Okay, why don't you guys work together? Yahoo, delicious, popular URL and tech. The meat platter. Okay, and we have the similar thing which is not selected. It's a Yahoo. However, because that was the problem. It's when I see the two proposals, it's quite similar pattern. So that is the reason I didn't select both of them. Okay, but the other one is quite similar, but this one is better. And Ravi, Teha. Okay, and why don't you guys work together? Even I spend a lot of time to assign the team. So I actually see all your voting from the 1 and 2. I didn't assign if you vote as a no. And this is I think that we have the 2 of the NYC taxi trip, but I don't think they work together. So Uman, Carter, okay, and Chindan. Okay, so why don't you guys work together? And Walmart data set, this is another selected one. So proposal itself is not better than I expect, but still the Walmart data set may be interesting using the API provided by the commercial store. So why don't you work hard for the page 4 and 5 and Hata, okay, and Nancy. So I didn't know that Walmart provide the API. So it will be, so most of the Facebook and the social media site, they provide API. So, but Walmart, I'm not sure how many commercial, the retail store provide such an API. So it will be good opportunity for you guys to learn the Walmart API. Okay. That's the collecting data, right? Then the transfer such a data to so it will be good experience. Twitter data set, the main problem of the Twitter data set is one of the main source of the social media analytics and big data analytics, big data processing. So its title is too general, the Twitter but specialized. So I think the south, you mentioned about the sentiment analysis. Don't try to spend a lot of time the implementing algorithm itself. Okay, so how to use the map reduce, or so couple of things like for example for the sentimental analysis you can use the lookup table, so you can implement the join operation, which is not easy in map reduce program, something like that. And Java, and we have another part and the Whaley. Okay, so why don't you guys work together for the New York taxi data analytics? But we have this one, so it can be kind of complete. So okay, and I do not put the distance learning, the proposal, but the distance learning student can continue. Okay. The next 10 minutes, why don't you have a meeting? Okay? So, why don't you guys, so this is a minimum requirement for your case for implementation. So for the query or problem, it's a minimum. So two of them, you need to specify when you submit the documentation who implemented. Okay? So per person, the data collected, data uploaded, you are setting up the URL, who are using the AWS. I think one of the team plan to use AWS. So are you selected? Then are you going to use? Yeah, so why don't you discuss about it? And anyway, each person should one pure map reduce. Another one is the map reduce or the using the Hadoop ecosystem. Okay, mostly Pig and Hive. Sometimes we use the scoop. Okay. So you can implement it this way or implement this per person. Okay, you need to specify who implemented that in your documentation. Then it will be separately graded. Okay. Then the other part you guys need to work together. So that is a minimum requirement. And for the system, you can use the your virtual machine, or if you want, you can implement the cluster. You can use the computer in the lab, okay, by logging after you set up. Then that is the extra point. And also you can use the AWS at the one team purpose, but still you guys can consider. I think that you can have $30 or $100